What's going on, YouTube? Time for the recap. So, monster day. And if you caught our YouTube yesterday, we hit out some pretty beautiful targets. We're going to start real quick here on the X, our calls from YouTube, with short out of the gate and the 1 minute gap fill. So, regardless of wherever price action was going, SPY was going to hit 596.14 today. Doesn't matter what it was. From pre-market to the live, we were filling this up. So this high pre-market push was actually my top tick short to come down to the algo fill today. Then we put out a big short target right here at 594.72 if we stayed under yesterday's highs, and we had some back and forth today. We had some really good picks. So let's get into those. So we predicted down to the golden pocket. If you watch the YouTube video, which I want to bring up here real fast for the after hours call, let's take a peek quick. These are going to be first tags of the new day, Wednesday. Well, it's not really Wednesday, it's Tuesday night into Wednesday. So when this reopens, anything 21,167 and above, up to 21,270. That's only the scalp, but I don't really care what it does after that. We've already had a really tough sell onto the week into NVDA. All right. You get the point. So on NQ, I said we were going to go over some opportunity gap chases. Let's talk about some intraday plays and what we had overnight. So 5 p.m. is the trade we're talking about, right? Central time for me, the futures open. And here are those fibs again that we were talking about in the last YouTube video, which I'll put in the YouTube description. Anything above the 38.20 I said would go to 21.76, right? 21.276. So that was going to be the scalp, as I mentioned. So anything above our golden pocket entries, which are what we look for. Notice we held the 50, right? And then up to target. No big deal. Great scalp. I don't care what it had to do after that. As I said in the YouTube video, we're going to wait for whatever ER for NVIDIA wants to show us. And we had some really big temporary longs. So let me show you another play that we had here, which was beautiful back and forth called in the Discord. And we noticed a scam happening, which was a beautiful recap here. So we left a 1 minute gap and then the VWAP no tag. So notice the price action on this dump. Creation of the gap is made. Runs down, comes close to VWAP, but did it hit it? Purple dash line? Nope. Not the bottom one. That's a 666. The neon purple one here. Fuchsia color. It did not hit it. So that's called a shy. When price action comes very close to a level, runs away. Well, what do we notice after that VWAP shy? Ran all the way to the gap and shied it again from that gap creation point, right? So I watched the price action shy the VWAP. I played along right here on the higher low for 10 SMA recovery, and I wanted to go to the gap fill. And then I noticed this breakdown. It started chugging right here at the 100 EMA. In the green. So that was a resistance and resistance. I noticed then that there was a lower low break of structure. Notice we have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and a break of structure to lower high. And I was like, oh man, why is this? I look and I'm like, oh nuts. We have the VWAP no tag. We're coming back. So we were up $600, immediately closed the long because I knew it was going to shy here, just like it shied here. We jumped in short right here, ran her down to the VWAP. No big deal. So then we got a reversal 5 minute right at the VWAP. And what do you think our next play was? We longed to the next sequence, higher, low, higher, high, right? So anything above VWAP, higher, low again, push, higher, high, recovered 100 EMA and filled the gap. Okay. So we navigated some really good shy algorithm scams right here. So I was really proud of the chat. We did some really good plays right there. And then we shorted the top tick, right? So let's get into some of the other plays that we had made here off the QQQs and likewise, right? So we had a bunch of different opportunities to see golden pockets today. So yesterday's high low, if you watch my last YouTube video, again, I'll put the link in the description. I explained where we were going to go here for potentials of golden pockets, right? And if you take the high-low of the prior day, which we always like to do, we look for those golden pocket tags. So these are coded intraday for our screen, so we don't got to do anything kind of crazy, but yesterday's high is right here. Yesterday's lows is right here. We have a custom code for that. So as long as we stayed under yesterday's highs, we come back down to the golden pocket. Now, remember what I said about shying, and let's zoom in real close here. To the QQQ missing that 514.37, wants to scam up a little bit, trap some longs, right? We also talked about in my chat, watch for the 666 5-minute resistance. That would be worst case scenario for a short entry. I have it written in the Discord. 5-minute 6666 would be worst case algo magnet, not seeing it quite yet. This was at 743. I entered a short early pre-market at the tippity top going down for that golden pocket. Short here for me, 743 central, P&L's posted here. She's going. Locked in, 3 out of 5. Riding a couple, 40 points left to the downside as you see us taking some profit on the short call. Now let's take a look at that short call and entry and exit first, right? 7:43 a.m. Right here, 7:43. This is where I entered for the break of the VWAP. I wanted to get down to the golden pocket. Okay, no big deal, right? 1, 2, 3 down. Popped up, gave me a higher high, which is all the pre-market highs got beat out here. What do we know about fresh high reversal scams? The market loves to stop out people that use high of day stop outs. I don't know why people do this nonsense, but they do. They pick a high point, and let's say you short it, and then you roll all the way down, and you put a break-even stop, and then the market hunts for that, goes over it, then continues, right? Fresh high, low, any scam, they love to do that. A fresh high reverses, a fresh low reverses, right? It's an easy, equal price stop out that the algorithms like to use. So we talked a lot about anything under the 519.30 down to the GPs, and look at us back at the 100 EMA. Now for my crew, we had a whole bunch of SPY trades today, and we're going to go back over there. And like I said in the beginning of the video on the Twitter, we were going to fill 596.14. Now you're going to see a bunch of writings and a bunch of stuff that this is what we posted on Twitter here in X. And let's break all this down. So I'm not going to give you all these little hints here. Activate. That was the first tag scalp right there. All right. So we had an open here and shy of the GP. That's one of the biggest things with SPY compared to QQQ. We had obvious divergence. Where's the golden pocket? Right here. Okay. So again, yesterday's highs to lows creates this golden pocket, 594.72 to 592.74. We channeled it, so we knew where it was. So anything under yesterday's highs and the 50. Again, if you paid attention to the YouTube video, let me take a pause right there. I was on the daily chart. I told you guys confirmation of short requires a back test because we had 1, 2, 3 days with no GP algorithm tags. It came into the 100 EMA and did what? Popped into the 50. What does that mean? It's a confirmation. We broke through the 50 SMA right here, 224. Stayed under 225 yesterday. So today, you would look for a huge support at the 100 EMA to push back to the 50. Because we have too many no GP tags to the downside. That's why we were long biased into a push as high as the golden pocket of 224. So if you also draw 224's golden pocket, wow, look at that. Top of the day. Real tough, right? Fibs are going to fib, baby. Easy peasy. So we broke through the 50, hit the 100, pushed back to the 50, and that was the likelihood of the short. Now let's take a peek at what that looks like again intraday. Back test the 50. Goodbye, right to the golden pocket, which we needed to be at. Now let's take a couple points of interest here where I wanted short out of the gate, which market had other plans. We needed to backtest the 50 first. The best case scenario for us would have been price action out, pushing into the golden pocket, then to the 50, then down. It did not want to do that. It opened up, shied all the golden pocket, as we've been talking about here, shied the 594.72 by a little bit right there, and popped back up. So we knew that sucker was coming back down. So what was the trade plan for coming back down and catching the entirety of the short? Now you can see a couple of things here. I posted this on X, big short target. We did not hit that at the morning. So that's going to be in the back of your head for coming back down to get that short target. We made a no GP 5-minute right here. So this is a very important candle. So let's talk about this candle. This 5-minute candle is at 8:45 Central. VWAP in the purple, 10 SMA in the blue, 100 EMA in the green, all moving averages that this 5-minute candle hit. That means the algos are speaking with this one right here. Sounds a little silly, right? But watch. So as we high-low fib that's where these fibs come from right here. And then I said for this morning, if the short doesn't happen, I said trend swap long only above VWAP, okay? And we said that on the 1-minute chart as we watched the open. And we made a note of that right there. So this is to help our members kind of navigate. We hit that low, higher low, and then broke over VWAP. We made a note way before that happened saying, hey, we see a higher high. If there's a higher low and it breaks back over the purple VWAP, she's swapped long, which is fine. That just means we swap long and we go to the 50 and look for the short later. Now, I told my crew again with the euro close, and I drew a big old red picture. Anything under 599.70, right? We missed it by 10 cents or so here for a perfect entry. Was going to be short under the 50. I also told everybody 10:30 and 11 a.m. Central short after that. That's the euro close where the algorithm swap. Easy peasy. Let's take a look at this too. So we had a bunch of lower highs created. Lower low. What did we just talk about? Fresh low scams do what? Big fresh low. shied the VWAP, right? All the way up to a high, right to a dump. We just covered this, guys. We just covered this in the early part of the video. This stuff happens daily. It's crazy. So above the VWAP trend was a great scalp, and then we called the rest of the day short. We wanted a big old red candle down to the golden pocket. That was the entire breakdown of the trade. And we went as high as the golden pocket of 2 days ago. That was the top of the market. I could have traded this whole thing with 2 fibs. And besides that, we had a beautiful, beautiful breakdown into the bottom of the GP. And what do we know about first tags? Well, they could be scalpable, right? So look at all these first tags, because I'm a scalper. I love to scalp these things. So we know that this is the golden pocket, the high low of yesterday, fibs. Look at the first time it hit that fib. First time. Netted you a 9-point bounce. First time it neared the 50. Netted you an 8.5-point bounce. First time it got close to the low here. And it bounced. It just took a little bit, right? Recovery candle here. Fresh low, scam up again, we just talked about. Had a really nice roll back up to the 50. So again, first tag, right? This one had a pretty big wash. You probably wouldn't have traded that one as clean, but no problem in adding into micros here. Okay. Last but not least, as we did the prediction, the VIX. What did we say about the VIX? I said it was going up to 2150 to 22. We also had these markers already because we already knew where it was going, 2145. See a bunch of people calling for a double top right here. Let's stock twits. And then we laughed, and the toaster laughed. We shot the toaster. Toasters don't laugh. So what's left? Well, VIX has gaps open here. VIX has gaps open here. Anything could happen here. We talked about the deviation for the volatility index coming into the -1, right? +1. We don't really range that far after. We have some big ranges up. That's fine in the volatility, or not the VIX, the standard deviation resets on the volatility index after that open. Then we notice the VIX right here into support. This was the biggest precursor for the short as well. 10:30, 11 a.m. hit, euro close. We started to get volume in the VIX right off the -1 5-day deviation. Not 5-minute, 5-day deviation, okay? So after that was hit, that was the last piece of the puzzle where I called the after euro close short. And now it's up to NVIDIA to dump the market. And if you want to know exactly where NVIDIA is going to dump the market to, I made a video on it. Check the live. It's the last live on Sunday. So if you guys want to see me do this live and hang out with the group and our big community here in our private Discord and our live stream tomorrow morning, links in the description. If not, trade safe. Tune into the next video. We'll see you then.